In today's episode, we're going to talk about society and the connection between each others. When I'm saying about the society and the connection between each other, it's because since I start my spiritual journey, I start realizing or I start noticing the people we have tendency to separate between each other. Like we do with religion, with politics, with gender, with stuff like that. It seems like how we get trapped in those labels and we are missing what really unites us. So paying attention to this, it makes me think about the analogy when it's a storm and it rains, regardless of gender or politics or ethnicity. When it rains, we all get wet equally. And nobody has a umbrella to protect ourselves from experiences or feelings or whatever. We all share this kind of things. So it seems like we often prioritize to enhance our differences instead of the focus and those things that makes us equal. So let me explain about my spiritual journey. Once I started putting more attention into what was happening on my feelings or with my feelings, I started realizing all this thing that we do, that we, like I mentioned before, we separate from each other. But once I pay attention and I recognize those things in me, I can actually see those things in other people. And I start realizing that we all share similarities. We all have fears. Doesn't matter how strong you are or how powerful you are or how badass you are. We all have feelings. We all have fears. But the crazy thing in here is we have this tendency to separate ourselves just from a social expectation. So we fall into these labels where we forget to pay attention or be aware what's happening emotionally around us. And this is crazy because the emotional connection, it's what allowed us to grow. For example, a couple days ago, I was walking my dog in the backyard. In the community where I live, we're not allowed to walk the dog unleashed. So all of a sudden, I see this dog running at my dog unleashed. So I go crazy. A second later, I hear a man walking in, or I see an old man walking towards to me, and I start screaming at him. It's what the heck, man? Why in the fuck you're walking your dog without the leash? So he looking at me and it's do you think that I will be walking the dog unleashed since I'm so old and all that stuff? And I'm it hit me a little bit. So the point in here is my old me, you will totally escalate the situation without paying attention of this old man's feeling. I would probably scream at him and start a cussing and all that stuff. And I walk out of the door. It's fuck you, man, and whatever. And just bye. And that situation will totally disturb the rest of my day because it put my emotions into high alert and all that stuff. Because this man, it was so unconsiderate to other people walking around with that dog without the leash. But it wasn't that way. And if I didn't allow myself to listen to his heart, I was never going to be able to learn that lesson. So I walk out of that situation learning that I need to be more aware to what happened around me. So, for example, when someone cuts you off, you're driving in the street, someone cuts you off and they start driving 20 miles an hour. And I'm what I learned in that situation with that old man is probably in that car that cut me off and it's driving in front of me, you don't know if that was driving that car. It's a 95-year-old woman that just find out that her son passed away and she's on the way. She's not allowed to drive, but she's on the way to see the rest of the family, right? If I put it that way, everybody want to cry. Well, that's the truth, because we don't know what's going on with the other person. If we all start being more conscious about this can create like a domino effect, right? So everybody else around, like if you start being kind and your neighbors start being kind and the other neighbors start being kind, don't you think your street is gonna be, it will feel a little bit better? So this where spirituality, it's very good for open up this kind of things, because not until you dig inside and you look and you deal with your demons and you deal with your fears and you deal with all that stuff, that's when you start realizing that other people has the same things. And that's like empathy is going to just like come out of your pores. So once you realize that we are all the same, every time that it rains, we're all the same. Every time that you call yourself, it doesn't matter the color of your skin. Inside, blood is right for everyone. So if we are all the same, everybody else has the right to be crazy. So if everybody is crazy at the same time, we will like freaking blow up the planet. So if we see when we are cool with something, everything else runs smooth, why would not everybody try to be cool at the same time? So the entire planet, it will be a better place to be. I know that it sounds super utopic, but spirituality, it actually encourages people to work on themselves. And when you work on yourself and you feel lighter inside, that thing start like coming out of your purse. So your surrounding start changing on this. So now that you feel better, people around you will see you better, and they can get curious. And if they get curious, they can actually potentially start working on the same thing. So now we are all coexisting in a better environment. I want to read this. It can encourage compassion in actions. I believe that compassion plays an important role in addressing problems such as discrimination and prejudgment. When we're spiritually oriented, one can recognize the other person as their struggles. So when you allow yourself to be kind to yourself, when you allow yourself to forgive yourself for the things that you do, you can actually start being kind to others and start practicing forgiveness to others. And this can lead to being aware about situations around you. And this can lead to be kind with other people. And all this can create a better environment. And this is crazy because I know that normally people think that, well, why would I do this? It's just me against the world. That's not right. That's not right at all. The other day I saw a picture on Instagram that it makes the perfect example. It was a line of matches, right? So you have the frame. It was a line of matches, one right next to the other. So it was right, kind of like closer to the end of this line. A hand grabbed one match and remove it from the line. So you see all these matches lighting up. And right when this person, one person moved that match away, it says only one person can make the change. If I can give you an advice, something that it really helped for me is start diarying. Putting those 1,000 papers will help you to process in your head. You don't realize about it or you don't recognize it, but sometimes this kind of nuts doesn't allow us to move forward to the next chapter or whatever. So this kind of things, like putting it on paper, like doing an audio, or like texting on your phone and whatever, can actually help you to process in your brain and give you a different perspective of a situation. So society and the interaction between each other, this could be social media, and social media could be a double-edged sword, because on one side, you can create, like the algorithms and all that stuff. On one side, you can create like a micro chamber, right? Where you only see things that belongs to you, or you only see or interact with things that belongs to you, or they're like similar to what you think or what you do and stuff like that. And actually, this is not that good. I mean, it could be good to interact with other people that share the same beliefs and stuff like that, but like it's also good to help others, right? So if I'm here with all my happiness and all that stuff, and my neighbor across the street is feeling bad for something, why I cannot to cross the street and hug that person and help that person to feel better? If I have the opportunity to do it, I will do it. So social media gives you that stuff, but try to be conscious about this. Last reading of the day. So the general lesson in here is that at the heart of our social constructions, we must constantly remember our shared humanity. We all equals. It is about actively choosing to rely on compassion, understanding, and emotional awareness. If we focus on what connects us instead of what separates us, we will cultivate a space where everyone feels validated and included. Do you hear that? It's beautiful. So, what I would like to know what your thoughts are about this. And my name is Patricio. Please like and subscribe to see more of this type of material. And remember, if you don't do the change, nobody else will do it for you.